Texan Global School. Introduction to Solids. This class discusses a general introduction to solid geometry and stereometry. Milne stated that solid geometry, or Euclidean geometry, is the name for the three-dimensional Euclidean space that pretends to model solid objects. The three-dimensional space has an x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. They are also called abscissa, ordinate, and applicate, respectively. A point in the space can be defined as a coordinate px, y, z of ordered triples of real numbers. Normally can be referred to as width, length, and height. The intersection of the three axes is the origin. Milne stated that a polyhedron is a solid bounded by planes. The intersection of the planes which bound a polyhedron are the edges. The intersections of the edges are the vertices, and the portions of the planes included by its edges are the faces. Hart stated that one classification of polyhedrons includes some of the following solids. First, tetrahedron, a polyhedron with 4 faces. Then hexahedron, a polyhedron that has 6 faces. Also, octahedron, a polyhedron with 8 faces. Decahedron, a polyhedron that has 10 faces. Another solid type is the dodecahedron, a polyhedron with 12 faces. And icosahedron, as a polyhedron that has 20 faces. Another way to classify polyhedrons is as prisms, pyramids, and platonic solids. A prism is a polyhedron with 2 of whose faces are equal polygons, which lie in parallel planes and have their homologous sides parallel, and whose other faces are parallelograms. The prisms include right prisms, oblique prisms, regular prism, and parallelepiped. The pyramids are polyhedrons whose base is a polygon, triangles as lateral faces, and a common intersection point called vertex. Finally, platonic solids are any polyhedrons whose faces are all identical regular polygons meeting at the same three-dimensional angles. The 5 regular polyhedra are the tetrahedron, hexahedron, octahedron, dodecahedron, and icosahedron. As seen before, solids have many types of tetrahedrons. However, there are other solids like the cylinder, which is a solid bounded by a cylindrical surface and 2 parallel planes called bases cutting all its elements, related to the generatrix. The cylindrical surface is generated by a moving straight line that always remains parallel to its original position and continually touches a curved line. The cone is another solid, bounded by a conical surface and a plane cutting all its elements, or generatrix. The conical surface is generated by a moving straight line that goes through a fixed point and continually touches a curved line. Finally, the sphere is a solid bounded by a surface in which every point is equally distant or equidistant from a point called center. The equidistant distance is called radius. 2 radius form the diameter. Stereometry is the geometry branch that involves the measurement of volumes of three-dimensional figures such as polyhedrons, prisms, pyramids, cones, cylinders, and spheres. Hence, the volume is the quantity of space enclosed by the surfaces which bound a solid. Because the volume has 3 dimensions, the units of measure for volume are the cubic inch, the cubic foot, the cubic yard, the cubic centimeter, the cubic meter. A solid is measured by finding how many times it contains some other solid, in this case a cube with an edge length of 1 unit. It is adopted as the unit of measure. Hence, the volume of this prism can be calculated by dividing it into small cubes with an edge length of 1 unit. If we count them, we can see that there are 16 cubic units. 4 units of length times 2 units of width times 2 units of height. The following classes will describe the elements of each of the solids and their volume calculation. Texan Global School. Global online learning. Knowledge for the world. www.texanglobalschool.com